Doris.
Marcus, do you know what that awful smell is from around the hall?
No.
Do you know where it's coming from?
No.
Marcus, do you have a dead mouse in there?
Classic pop culture. It's classic pop culture. Hosted by Steve, Ludwig, and Ludwig. It's classic pop culture. It's classic pop culture. It's classic pop culture.
Thank you, Joe Mandica, Australia's premier tunesmith, for writing, producing, and performing our classic pop culture theme song. And how you doing, everybody? This is your pal and fellow fan of pop culture, Steve Ludwig, welcoming you to another edition of Steve Ludwig's Classic Pop Culture, right here at planetludwig.com. Congratulations. We have all landed safely and peacefully here at Planet Ludwig. And on this edition, show number 158, our guest is actress Bettina Skye. Bettina has been on Orange is the New Black, Ugly Betty, All My Children, One Life to Live, tons of movies, and more TV shows, over 100. And acting is just one facet of Bettina Skye's resume. Wait until you hear what an interesting person Miss Skye is. And we'll speak with Bettina right after we watch a brief sample of her acting. Enjoy.
Hi, Doris.
Marcus, do you know what that awful smell is from around the hall?
No.
Do you know where it's coming from?
No.
Marcus, do you have a dead mouse in there?
I like that you didn't wear your clown outfit to the interview. Very businesslike. All right, great, you're hired. Okay. Bye. Set in the next clown. Why not? If we need that, and this is our government that we're paying taxes to, why not have the government help us out?
See, that's a
To
typical
help
liberal
for us.
clown response.
I am a typical liberal clown.
Okay.
Ham, what the hell's going on? Hey, tell your girlfriend you're busy and hang up the phone for God's sake and come on back to bed.
Alice, put a sock in it. You don't know what you're talking about.
Listen, I might not be as tech savvy as the next person, but I'm a very hard worker, and I promise I can learn everything I need to know, plus some.
I am very sorry.
Oh.
I baked a few pound cakes for the youth group last week, and I had this one left over. I thought you might like it.
No thanks, Doris.
Sundays at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Does that mean you finally come? I'll bake your first batch.
Great-Grandpa Peters never cheated.
What?
That picture in your father's wallet isn't even our relative.
Dad!
Peters and Johnson will mix teams.
Create a balloon animal that represents your feelings for Ron Paul. Not pulling any punches, are you?
Nope.
Why don't you tell us what you really think?
I think this says it all.
Bettina Skye has traveled many diverse journeys in the acting field since, at the tender age of 8, she portrayed Lord Peanut Butter. Her body of work is astounding, with over 100 TV shows and movies to her credit. She's a member of the famed Actors Studio since 1978, where she studied directly under Lee Strasberg. She's had recurring roles in the soap operas All My Children and One Life to Live, has guest starred on the popular Ugly Betty TV show and the reality show Cake Boss, several episodes of Orange is the New Black, CBS's Limitless, the 2019 Hallmark Channel's movie Painting Christmas, and she's trained in improv, Shakespeare, and transformational acting. Oh yes, she's also won numerous Best Actress awards for her work in film. Now, the only problem is if I keep listing Bettina's credits, I won't have time to actually speak with her. So, let me welcome to Classic Pop Culture, Ms. Bettina Skye. Hi, Bettina.
Oh, hello. How are you? Thank you for that awesome introduction.
Well, listen, that's all to your credit. I'm just reading what you've done in your wonderful career.
Thank you.
You know, Bettina, before we even get into the many facets of your talent, which even go beyond acting, I'm afraid I'm going to have to show my ignorance just a little bit when I ask you, what exactly is transformational acting? I mentioned it in the intro.
So I don't know who your listeners are, so I don't know how much detail I can go into, all the different techniques of acting, which I love, but I don't know, how much you're going to do, but I'll do a little bit. Okay. So transformational acting was put out by one of my favorite teachers, Sandy Shurin. She's been teaching acting a very long time. I studied with her for about 10 years, I think, and from 2009 to 2009, I think, in that area. Mm-hmm. And that's where I got a really basic and advanced, I guess, understanding of transformational acting. But in a few sentences, I would say it's very present-oriented. Like you can access your emotions from different things that you are feeling right in the present, as opposed to the method, which I studied for many years when I was at the Actor Studio with Lee Strasberg, that was very past-oriented, where you had to conjure up a memory from a trauma from your childhood in order to feel.
Right.
Figures have emotion, which works. I mean, it's awesome in a scene. It just, I think, for me, became a little dangerous psychologically.
I can imagine.
It just affects me mentally because you're bringing up some past stuff, and if you're not talking to a therapist or something and how to heal it and move it past you, it can be a little dangerous psychologically, in my opinion.
Yeah, you've got to go home. You've got to go home with that. Yeah.
Also, Meisner technique, which I also studied, is also great. Meisner is very future oriented, like what if this would happen and what if that would happen. So that's great too. It's just a little more future oriented as opposed to transformational acting, which is very present oriented. How you feel about different things currently, which people feel very big and deeply these days. So it's a little bit more of a easier technique, I feel, and it's for me also a little more psychologically healing. Bringing up stuff I don't know what to do with. I'm bringing up stuff I can process a little bit easier and use in the work and make it a great scene. So that's a little bit of an explanation. I'm sure Sandy Shurin would give a better explanation. She's currently teaching classes online right now. So
okay, maybe she can stop for us. No, I think you explained it very well, Bettina. It does sound like, it's got to be emotionally draining, though, all these different methods.
The thing is, I love it. It's my favorite thing. One of my favorite things to do to express emotion through the lens of a different character. So I don't find it draining. I find it exhilarating.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow. That's why you're such a good actress, I'm sure. That's what. Yeah. I read a recent feature article about you in the Times Herald Record. And in the article, Bettina, you mentioned that you love exploring the human psyche and you enjoy playing people with deep, dark secrets. Now, for me personally, those types of characters are the most interesting. What attracts you to those types of people?
I think growing up, I didn't feel like I could express myself that well. I just was very shy and very quiet, and I feel like that became a big part of my personality, where there's a lot of secrets going on in my brain that didn't be expressed. So I feel like I can express them better through characters, and certainly people who know me a very long time, they often say something like, wow, I didn't know that about you. Like different secrets like pop up like 20 years later. Even my husband will say that. Like every day he'll learn something new that he didn't know.
Yeah.
Like when he found out I could water ski, or my friend Regan said that to me also very recently. Like, how did I not know you were into that? Like,
Yeah, I can understand them feeling that way.
My friend
Yeah.
Sean will say that. They'll know me 20 years, and just like something else will pop up, because I generally am. I mean, yes, I'm quiet and I have secrets, but I am like gregarious and outgoing and fun too. So I have both those sides.
And you must learn things about yourself too.
I think that's the key, to constantly learn about yourself so you can express it, and then through the lens of a character, and just, it's interesting, and it's also universal, so people who watch it can, relate to it and maybe heal or learn something or be entertained by something,
Yeah, I'm a layman. I'm not an actor, and so you're the perfect person to ask for this. I've always had a feeling, and this just came to me as you were giving your answer. I think I would be embarrassed sometimes to let loose like you do and your fellow actors. Do you ever maybe embarrassed isn't the right word, but do you ever get done doing a scene or an improv or something and say, "Whew, how'd that happen?"
I do remember once in an acting class. This was in a Meisner class many years ago. Like, I was about to tell a story, then I realized this is embarrassing and humiliating for me, so I'm not going to tell those details. But yeah, something happened in class where I realized I was like expressing a part of myself that was very private, and it did come out in a scene that way. But it doesn't. I just have one memory of that, in like all the years I've been doing this. That was like so embarrassing. But most of the time, it's as I said, it's very fun. It's expressive. It's a powerful thing to be able to look at your shadow self, or your the self that gets hidden mostly, and to express it in a scene. It's not humiliating because it's the character that's expressing it, and now everyone who's watching it gets to relate to it, because we all have the other side. We all have that.
And like I said, that question had just come to me off the top, and I kind of jumped ahead. I do want to go back. We mentioned about you and the roles, exploring human psyche and people with deep, dark secrets. Can you think of 2 or 3 films that you were in, or roles?
Sure.
That are nice examples of that?
A lot of them, almost all of, well, not every one of them, but almost all of them. So I'll say a few. Probably the biggest one was a film I did called Cattle Farmer. I played Anna. It was a difficult role for me because the secrets are so, I don't want to give away this.
Yeah, no, don't. We want to enjoy it.
It's really dark and nasty, and it was a very difficult role for me to even be like, how am I ever going to do this character? It was so dark.
Cattle farm.
Cattle farmer. Oh, baby. It's definitely got horror and psychological aspects in there. So that's one. Another one, I'd say, I did this really fun film called Girls Just Want to Have Blood. The original title was...
Great title.
What is it? Teenage blood-sucking bimbos? Oh, my God. So my character was a drunk prostitute mother,
Nice. Someone you want to bring home. For the night, anyway.
So fun to play. Yeah, I just had the best time on that set. And the director, his name is Tony Goggles, he made me feel really safe because the character was really out there, had to flirt with all these guys and do this crazy stuff. But everyone on set, all the guys, just really created such a safe atmosphere that really let me play out big. It was so great. It was really great fun. And the movie's hilarious. So that's another character.
I guess
was dark.
Yeah, I guess you do have to hope that you have fellow actors on the film that you can rely on to kind of help you through. You know what I mean? You don't want to work with
it's
jerks.
important, especially when you're playing a character that's big and crazy or that's crying. I've done a lot of scenes where, like, I don't know why, there was a whole series for a while there where I get cast as a mother whose child just died, and and that was a very intense, like, run. I don't know why that kept happening, but it did, and those are intense. So you need to feel like you're safe on set to kind of go there, you know?
Yeah.
But then a couple more would be, we'll probably talk about these films some more anyway later, but one is Playdate, where my character, she's very twisted. Some of the things you don't realize till the end, so I don't want to say too much, but she's very twisted. Her character's name is Catherine, and the other one also was called Tall Drink of Walter. Well, she's not so, no, I don't think that one goes in that category. Anyway, that one doesn't go in that.
I like that one. I saw that.
Yeah,
one.
a little bit. And anyways, even if it doesn't, I'm going to try and find a secret. It just makes it more interesting for me. Like, what is this character's secret? What is she hiding? Who would she reveal that to? Who would she not reveal that to?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes it very interesting.
Yeah. What always interests me as a viewer, and I think the scary, and not always just horror films, but just kind of psychological thrillers too, is like the monster films, quote unquote, Wolfman, Frankenstein. They can be scary when you're little, but what is scariest to me is what an actual human being, the character, is capable of doing. And to me, that's the scariest type of horror movie, So I appreciate, those kind of roles that you have. Now, Bettina, speaking of roles that you've had, now at age 8, as Lord Peanut Butter, I'll bet you thought that was the toughest role you would have. But since then, what I'm amazed at, not amazed, but I'm so, I think it's wonderful. In addition to appearing in school musicals, in high school you portrayed Helen Keller. Wow.
Yeah, I did that for a year with a company out in Farmingdale, and we traveled around to different schools as well as performing at the theater. It was a big theater there, and I was studying with Lee Strasberg at the time, and it was recommended to me to go volunteer at the Helen Keller Institute in Long Island. I think it's in Sands Point. And so I spent a year there volunteering there, and it was really interesting. I mean, I learned finger spelling, and people who are deaf and blind, they can only communicate when you finger spell into their hand. So that is really wild.
Was that tough,
That's how they communicate.
Was that tough to learn? The finger spelling?
I don't remember that being difficult. I was young, so it probably was easier to do that. But I don't recall that was hard. It's just like learning every letter has a hand, something you can do with your hands, and then they would put their hands over your fingers so to communicate with you. That was really interesting. Then it really helped doing the role. The role is just like the greatest role.
Now, this is miracle work. It was, right. I'll tell you something. I wonder how many of my listeners, I'm going to be a big shot here. Now, I've spoken with you, an actress who portrayed Helen Keller, and I met Patty Duke at a convention.
Oh, wow.
And she, of course, portrayed Helen Keller in Miracle Worker movie.
It was awesome.
Now, how many people have spoken to two actresses who have portrayed Helen Keller? Really?
Well, you won that award. That's pretty awesome.
No, but talk about demanding roles, though. Oh my! Well, you obviously can handle it. You've been given awards for your acting, but at that age, at high school age, did Helen Keller, did the part wear you out at all? Did you go home at night and say, "Woo"?
No, I remember having the skills to be able to let it go. At least it's my memory.
Oh,
it was pretty
that's great.
ago, but I don't remember being tortured from it. I remember really enjoying it and practicing. I remember taking a blindfold and walking around my backyard practicing like that. I did a lot of things to kind of practicing every day to get into the character and enjoying it. I don't remember. I mean, and then while I was on the stage, you have to be in that moment because it's very physically demanding and very intense. But I was young and having a great time. I don't remember it being mentally straining in any bad way.
Good. Well, we mentioned a few times, or we each brought it up. Excuse me. That you studied at the prestigious actor studio in New York City. Now that started in '78, right? You became a member of that in '78.
I got lucky. You know how many people audition for that and don't get in or have to audition like a lot? I auditioned once.
Well, oh my God!
I was a teenager, and
boy.
I was like one of the youngest people, certainly there, and it was fascinating. I mean, I went to these sessions like every Tuesday and Friday from like 11 to 2. And, yes, I remember.
Even before
I remember being there and learning a lot and being kind of getting my mind blown by all the acting and studying with some other actors that were well known who were amazing. And
like who?
I had talent at that young age really gave me a lot of confidence. What can I say? I got lucky.
I read in your bio, a couple of the actors you worked with were Ellen Burstyn and Shelley Winters.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
I remember like little things like Lee Strasberg would be like, relax your eyebrow. There's tension there, and then the whole.
Wow.
Then I was able to cry or something, like little things. And Ellen Burstyn being very like strict but real. Same thing with Shelley Winters. She'd give us like these exercises. I mean, this is a really long time ago, as I mentioned, but I have certain points of memories that were like, wow, and that gave me the confidence and some beginning skills. I mean, I later went on to do different techniques, but at least I had some like beginning skills where I knew how to create a character and express emotion and stuff. So,
right. I'm sure many of our listeners know, but some of your fellow alumni, besides Ellen Burstyn and Shelley Winters, I mean, Marlon Brando, Marilyn Monroe, Al Pacino, Jane Fonda. I mean, for you to be accepted in that,
they're awesome. As I said before, you have to be careful with that technique because it can make you crazy, in my opinion. Like you have to be careful to know how to like help yourself psychologically and be able to take care of yourself after.
Do they teach you that at the school? Like, listen, don't take this home. Here's what you do if you have to let go of it. Or is that just up to you?
I don't remember that being a part of it. I remember me personally having some issues with how to move away from it. I had some, issues with bringing up some trauma and letting go of it.
Yeah,
I mean, now I can, but at the time, I was young, too. Like, you're a teenager, you don't know what the hell's going on. Like,
it's just tough enough being a teenager, throwing acting into it.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah. Do you prefer, Bettina, in a director, someone who leaves it up to you how to interpret a character? Because you have a reputation of being a genius improv actor.
God. Wow, thank you.
That's I've read that in a couple of places about you.
Okay.
So, do you prefer? You're not going to argue, right?
I don't want to argue.
Take the compliment, Bettina.
A lot of these things that are being mentioned are like, well, that's not completely true or whatever. But I'm just like, okay.
Well,
okay,
you're being modest. You're modest. That's what it is. But do you prefer a director who leaves it up to you how to interpret a character, or would you rather be given like a strict, this is how I want it done, don't go one way, don't swerve off the page?
I prefer a collaboration. I prefer a long collaboration. I prefer weeks of discussing previously to getting on set that character and maybe playing with the other actors to get a sense of how we all interact with each other. So that's what I prefer. And I've had so many different types of directors that I guess I have a certain technique for my own mind on how I can interpret a director into what they want, into how I need to present it to them in an organic way. So that's like a specific technique that's very helpful because the director will sometimes, he's not necessarily speaking an actor's language, he's speaking a director's language. So as a professional actress, I need to really listen and get what he or she is saying and kind of interpret it into my own system and like let that character express it in a way that's both like how I see it and how the director sees it. Unless the director's like really wants it a specific way, but ideally it's a collaboration, and every director is so different, so that collaboration looks different for every and every set and every story. I mean, I'm really there to serve the story and the director and the writer. I'm there to serve everybody else, not necessarily like how I want to do it for my own idea. So it takes a lot of listening and compassion, I guess, compatibility, like a lot of chemistry. Like there's all these factors coming into how I'm going to eventually create the role. There's a lot of input from everybody else.
Yeah. Something else that just came to me. What now you've been on TV and movies. Is there a strict, I keep using the word strict, but is there a definite difference that you found working TV as opposed to movies, or no?
I have a preference for television. I have a preference for episodics.
How
and
come?
Most of the things I've done are smaller independent things. I just have a preference for television. In my ideal view, I would like to have a long-running character that I can kind of take through different stories. I guess that to me is the most exciting to have, like, I guess it would be like a series regular or recurring role where I could take a different stories. Yes, there's a big difference. Film is more visual. I have done many... just as like a side note, I've done so many films where my whole scene got cut out because there's all kinds of reasons why your scenes get cut out.
That must kill you.
Maybe it does for a minute at the beginning, when you first hear or you're first watching it for a minute, it's like frustrating. But the second minute is like I have a memory of like having a great time on set and creating a character and having a great time with the cast and crew. So I still have that experience, like whether it's cut or not is almost secondary. Like, of course, you want everything to be seen, whatever, but it is secondary to the experience I had working on set. And if my scene doesn't fit into that vision of the director or the network or whatever, it's fine.
Well, that's a great attitude, Bettina.
I still have that great experience,
Yeah, that's a great attitude.
Yeah, which is what it's about for me anyway. So, there's tons of things I got cut out for. I could probably write a book on these are the things that didn't work out. But, I just try to, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's just I had such a good time doing it. So,
it's part of it, right?
I don't remember what the original question was because I was about to say TV and film.
Yeah.
So, film is more visual. Well, television is more talking, I guess. There's more like conversation, which is more of my interest, really. Not that I'm not interested in film. Of course, I love doing characters on film, but television is more my interest, specifically in terms of like expressing a secret. Like my first love was on television. Well, there were two things. One was soap operas. I just loved the soap operas because I saw people like revealing like all kinds of crazy, secrets, and there was compassion there, and drama and trial. I don't know. That was my first thing. But I also really love stuff on television like the Carol Burnett show, and then later the Tracy Ullman show. Like I love different characters, even Cher. Like different characters. And lately, I don't know if you know this actress Tatiana Maslany on Orphan Black. Oh my God, with all those different characters, she plays like 100 different characters, and every single one of them is so defined and clear, and I don't know, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's television. That's Orphan Black is television, and she gets to take all of the characters through all kinds of different scenarios. It's good.
It's like a holy grail for actors, right? To get a part, a character like
different
that.
Characters and to take them through different scenarios. I guess that's what I really love.
Now, Bettina, I've mentioned a couple of times about the many awards bestowed upon you, but I'd like to pick up probably maybe two of your most recent ones that you won at film festivals. In 2019, you won Best Actress for Play Date, which you mentioned before. We can talk about that in a second if you don't mind. But you won Best Actress for Play Date at the Brightside Film Festival in Jersey City. And the year before that, you won Best Actress at the Asbury Park Film Festival for A Tall Drink of Water, which you mentioned as well. Now, I have a two-part question.
Really? You can ask me the questions first.
No, okay. and then if what you were just going to say doesn't come in, just throw it in there. But first part, I'll ask them both, and then first part, kind of a silly question: how did that make you feel to win those two awards? Excuse me. And secondly, what can you tell us about Play Date and A Tall Drink of Water? Okay, now I'll shut up, Bettina.
Okay, I think I'll start with the films. First of all, I mean, it's really all due to a great script, a great director. Both of those films were done by the Kramer brothers. I think it's called Outtake Productions, if I recall. And the Kramer brothers and then Grace Soriano, they wrote it, produced it, directed. They came up with the character. I didn't write it. I just acted in it,
Well, you see, there you go again, being humble, though. What they put on paper doesn't matter unless you can bring it out, so... But I appreciate your humble nature.
They were also characters that happened to be suited to stuff I really enjoy. So Playdate, I don't want to give it away because right now it's actually, I just saw this thing on Facebook there. It's in a festival, another film festival, and people can go vote on it. So I can't really tell the ending of it, but it's definitely creepy and weird. And my character is one of the weirdest, creepiest characters I've played.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and it really was fun to shoot it, and I really loved working with the Kramer brothers and Grace. They've cast me in a number of films, I think 5 at this point that I've done with them. So
wow, wonderful.
It was really fun, and it got a lot of awards and stuff at different festivals. It's a short, it's a short independent film. I was really happy to win it. I mean, it's what's the word? I don't know. It's secondary to doing the work and being on set for me. I love being on set and doing the characters. Everything else is secondary. But winning an award is certainly great, especially since at that time it had been a very long time since I won an award. And I was beginning to think, this, I'm never going to win anything. And then, a whole bunch of things shifted. And I won that award. And it was a very nice feeling. I was very happy to win it, and even more so if it's going to lead me to more work and the more time on set, even better.
It bolsters your reputation.
Yeah. And for Tall Drink of Water, I'm a weirdo landlady who I got to play that character twice because Grace wrote another film called It's Always Sunny? I forgot the name of it. It's Sunny? Better Safe Than Sunny. She likes these interesting titles. Better Safe Than Sunny. So I got to play that character twice. And, she's a weirdo landlady, but...
But she's your weirdo landlady.
Yeah. I love weirdo characters. So, I am a weirdo character, So, I don't even need a script often enough. But anyway.
No. What's normal? I have 10 people, you get 10 different definitions. So, one person's weird is another person's beauty.
Yeah.
Now, before we go any further, Bettina, how can people follow you and get in touch with you on social media?
Well, I have an Instagram account. I think it's just at Bettina Skye. Feel free to follow me there, message me. You could, if you have an offer, like a film or television, or you want to connect with me, you can call my manager. That's the Talent Express. You could look her up on my IMDb page. Okay. That's stuff for that.
And listeners and viewers, you can see that now on the screen as well.
Oh, cool.
The info, yeah.
You are doing your thing, Steve.
I just sit here and do my thing. Everyone has their thing, I guess.
Yeah. so cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Social media is a help, isn't it? That's a stupid question, but I mean...
Oh, yeah. I've gotten so much work from, at the beginning of, Facebook. It really saved me. There were so many, castings and auditions and things that I just send people my materials, and, I get booked that way through Facebook. And now Instagram, I'm just connecting with, so many people. It's fun. It's great.
It's really, Now, not to rain on your parade, Bettina, but you're not the only one under your umbrella with talent. I'm talking about your husband, Steve Rubin. Now, he's an accomplished musician.
Yes, he's a jazz drummer. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah, can we talk about him for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, let's talk about him.
Okay.
He produces the Hudson Valley Jazz Festival, which just celebrated its 11th year. We live in Warwick, New York, with the Jazz Festival in the Hudson Valley. He usually has about 20, 25 shows, within 4 days in August. That's coming up again in August. He even got to do it this year during the pandemic. All the shows were outdoors. I mean, there were less shows than usual, but still there was quite a number of shows.
I was wondering. I'm glad you brought. I was going to ask you if he had a pass this year. That's great. That's great that he was able to. He was
almost not going to do it, but he's like, you know what? I could do outdoor events, and he did it, and it was really great. People really appreciated it. And then this year, also, what we've been doing is once a week in our backyard, we had live jazz, and it was so beautiful. We had musicians. They'd all sit 6 feet apart. We had very few people, certainly less than 10 people in our backyard, all 6 feet apart. And the music was great. And every day when we walk around the neighborhood, we still have people complimenting him on how that was so inspiring. They loved hearing the music, and it just cheered them up, and it was so beautiful. It was just great. And it was fun because we were all cooped up. And then, but I think he started it in April or May, and it was just really nice to have that musical expression.
Yeah. And now his group is called Beyond Jazz.
Yeah, I mean he has rotating players. It's hard to really call it a group.
It's like the Plastic Ono Band.
Like the what?
Like the Plastic Ono Band with John and Yoko. Whoever happened to fit well into a session, they would call them part of the band. It's a roving group of experienced, amazing jazz musicians he really started like a jazz community. Like all the jazz musicians were coming out to join in. I think he started in 2010, and so, or 2008 or 9. I'm not sure the start date when he started it, but he started like a whole community of musicians, and we became friendly and found like an artistic community, which was really great because we moved up to the Hudson Valley in 2005. I lived in the city for like 30 years, I think, before that. So this was a new experience. Yeah, I was going to say, how was that as a change? That's two sides of the coin.
That was quite a change. I mean, in my heart, I'm still a city girl because I love New York City. But, now living up in the country now for a long time. So it was a bit of an adjustment. It was a rough adjustment for me. Then there was like a lot of traveling, like driving. And this was the first year, I guess, starting March, when I have had time to kind of step off a treadmill of nonstop working and take a deep breath and do some online stuff and be home with my hubby and my animals. It's just been such a great break. I mean, besides all the worry and the sickness and people dying and stuff, which has been horrible, obviously. The other part of it is kind of giving me a lot of time to have some downtime and reflect and see where I want to move ahead, moving forward.
Yeah, you mentioned animals. I'm an animal lover. What kind of animals do you have?
I have a little doggy. He's a Shih Tzu Bichon mix. He's 13. His name is Tayo, which is Japanese for sunshine. And I have 2 cats who are the sweetest cats. One his name is Astro. He's a little gray troublemaker. He loves to pick things up and move them around.
What cat isn't a troublemaker? No.
He also has a different personalities, you know. And then little Mira, who's my little girl cat, she's like a tuxedo cat, like black with little white paws. She's just a lot of fun and loving, and she loves playing with plastic things on the floor, you know. But they all get along now. All the animals get along, and they
That's good.
cuddle up with each other. They run around with each other. They just all sit together with us. Like, that's been nice, and they've been super happy about this pandemic because we're home all the time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We have a pug named Buddy, and he's your typical pug, if you know how pugs are. They're always in and out of, they're wise guys. But yeah.
Can you put pictures of my pets on the screen, like if I send you some?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'd love you to.
Okay.
Now, getting back to, not to give Steve, letting your our pets take over Steve, your husband Steve's time, but I would love.
He loves.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's quite all right. No, I was going to say I'd love for our audience to hear a number featuring Beyond Jazz, your husband Steve Rubin's group, and with you, however, doing some jazz vocal rapping. I'm talking about jam number 4. What can you tell me about that song before we listen to it? It's great, by the way.
Oh, you heard it? The one where I'm like doing the tongue twisters over it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
That was like the most recent jazz jam. Listen, I've been listening to jazz music now since I know my husband, which is quite a long time already. And so I have an idea listening to the jazz musicians talk and listening to how it goes. Like, I started to get the idea of how it goes. And at the last jazz jam, one of the musicians, shout out to Bob Rosen, he gave me such an inspiration, and he was just like, you should do a tongue twister, like, over the jazz. Over the jazz, and some of the other musicians are like, "Yeah, I should mention their names."
Yes,
it's Bob Rosen, and then it was Rick Savage, Joe Tranquina on piano. Rick was on the trumpet. I think there's somebody else, but I don't remember. Maybe Ian Smith, maybe Jeremy Goldberg. I don't remember which musicians were in that piece I gave you. So. Those are some of the Jeremy Goldberg on bass. I'm not sure if he was there though that day.
If not, he's there in spirit.
Yeah, he's always there in spirit. Anyway, so Bob was like, "Oh, you should do this." He was very much like egging me on to do it, and I thought that was great. So I said, "Okay, I'm going to do this with you guys," and it was so fun. Like I felt really in tune with the musicians. I mean, these are awesome musicians. Like, they're top of their game.
They sure are.
Mm-hmm. Just like in there, like, and then Rick was like handing me some bells to jangle, and I liked it. I was like, wow, and
well, how about if we listen to it?
I don't have any baggage, like, oh, I'm going to be terrible or anything, because it's just a free-flowing, fun thing for me to do. I'm not thinking twice. I never ever thought someone would get to hear it, and now here we are playing a recording of it, so that's extra funny.
So how about if we hear it right now, Bettina?
Okay.
Jam number 4.
Two timid toads, totally tired, trying to trot to tarry down. Two timid toads, totally tired, trying to trot to tarry down. Two timid toads, totally tired, trying to trot to tarry down. Two timid toads, totally tired, trying to trot to tarry down. Two timid toads, totally tired, trying to trot to tarry down. Two timid toads, totally tired, trying to trot to tarry down. Totally tired, trying to trot to tarry down. Tarrytown, 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 Tarrytown. Totally tired, trying to try to Tarrytown. Two to my toes, totally tired, trying to try to Tarrytown. Tarrytown, 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 Tarrytown. Totally tired, trying to Tarrytown. Two to my toes, totally tired, trying to trot to Tarrytown. Two timid toes, totally tired, trying to trot to Tarrytown. Two to my toes, totally tired, trying to trot to Tarrytown. Two to my toes, totally tired, trying to trot to Tarrytown. Two to my toes, totally tired, trying to trot to Tarrytown. Two to my toes, totally tired, trying to trot to Tarrytown. Two to my toes, totally tired, trying to trot to Tarrytown. Two to my toes, totally tired.
Talk about improv, Bettina. I loved it, and I love the name of Steve's group, Beyond Jazz. It is definitely has that experimental type, feel. All right, now I have to. I need you to do me a big favor, Bettina. Could you put in a good word for me? I'd love Steve to come on on the show someday and talk about his group.
I'd like to.
Okay.
Make that happen. He would be honored, and
it'd be my honor. Great. Okay. So I have my in with you then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have them email you, or you
yeah. Well, okay. I'll be in touch. Great.
Okay.
Thanks. Now, obviously the pandemic has disrupted all our lives. But besides acting, you had an entertainment company, and many of the activities can be done online. Tell me all about this entertainment company.
Well, for many years, I worked as a balloon twister. I mean, I can make some really amazing creations out of balloon.
Okay, quick question. I saw in your acting reel when you did you twist that balloon?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a Bettina original. Okay.
Yeah, that's like the first thing you learn is a balloon twister. I mean, the sculptures I can make now are, pale in comparison to that. I can make like a Spider-Man looking thing, or a mermaid, or some really great things that I really love to do. And I been doing that for years at corporate events, particularly I work at this local fancy resort hotel. It's the Crystal Springs Resort Hotel in Vernon, New Jersey, and Minerals Hotel in Hamburg, New Jersey. So for years, I'm working there as a balloon twister. It's so fun. I just love it.
People must love it.
All those jobs, stopped. March 9th was my last job really doing that. So who knows how soon I'll be able to do that again. I really miss it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I did in my entertainment company was I read tarot cards. I've been reading tarot cards since I was a kid. And I've been doing corporate events, I think, for 30 years, reading tarot cards and doing healing. I do some healing energy with different types of modalities. For the longest time, I'm doing something called Joe Ray. I also do some Reiki. And I just learned this other modality called vortex healing, which oh my God, it's so great. So when the pandemic hit, I started advertising a bit to do it online, and now I do have lots of clients that have been reporting really great results from reading their tarot cards and doing healing on Zoom with them. So that has just been really nice. It's something I've been wanting to do for years, but I never had the time because I was always running around, like one gig and then running to a set, then back to a gig, then back on set. It was like a crazy life. And I was like, wouldn't it be nice if I could do some healing for people online? So now I'm doing that.
Now, how do we get in touch with you if we want to take the online course?
You can message me on Instagram.
Okay, just ask
I should send you my healing website if you want to.
Yes, absolutely. We'll put it on screen. Yeah,
put the healing website on. It's just best to really just message me on Instagram. Like, I'd like to get a session. I do really short sessions. It's like $25 for 30 minutes or $40 for 45 minutes. And
that's nothing.
I have some regular clients, but a lot of stuff can be done in a short time. It's really.
Now, may I ask you, again, as a layman, I've never had tarot cards read, for me. For the person who's not familiar with how that exactly works, what you see it? Could you explain it? You see it?
I'll do my best.
Yeah, just it's generally speaking.
It's magical. It's a little hard to explain, but I guess.
You see a picture on a card, and that gives you.
The thing is, like, the tarot cards are a way of reading your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is what creates your reality. So when I'm reading the cards, I can kind of see what's going on for you in your subconscious mind and what is true for you in your life right now. And then the healing part comes in because I see that there are some blocks, like if you really want to achieve something, but there are some blocks in your way, the healing can kind of sweep those blocks away pretty quickly and gently so that you're able to achieve what you want to do in this life without being stressed out or worried about stuff. That's a good explanation.
Yeah, that is good. That's a good explanation. I understand.
And it's related to, remember we were talking about at the beginning, but I love looking at people's psyches and revealing people's secrets. So that's like something else I really enjoy. It's, it's tarot reading and healing.
Yeah,
same theme.
No, really, because, with your tarot card reading and with the song we just heard, that's improvisational vocalization, if you don't mind me giving it that. And with your acting, your different talents, they do intertwine, don't they? I notice some like they kind of blend into each other here and there once in a while, which is,
because I'm a creative.
Yeah, like on the edge, they kind of that's what I'm thinking.
And childlike,
Well, listen, my wife often asks me, what are you going to be when you grow up? I don't know. I'll let you know when I get there.
I don't think I'm ever getting there.
No, good. I'm with you. Okay. Now, a couple shows ago, show number 155, we had our friend Solomon Chertok on as a guest.
Yeah.
And among his many works, we talked about Trevor, the Trevor franchise.
Great interview you did with him.
Thank you.
The whole thing, it was so great.
I had a lot to work with. He's such a.
He put it together well. It was just so interesting. Yeah.
Thanks. Now you're involved with Trevor, with the Trevor franchise, with Dave and Solomon.
Solomon he's been a really good support of me. I know him a long time. Not that I don't see him or speak to him much, but he's been a very good supporter to me, especially when I was going through some difficult times. And I don't even know how much he realized it, how much of a big help he was to me. Always sending me information about different things that were being cast. And
he's great. He's great like that. You're right. Yep.
So great. And I really appreciate him. But anyways, so I think it was him who introduced me to Dave, who wrote this amazing.
Dave DeSicco, we're talking about, right? Mm-hmm.
It's, I guess I could say there's like a crazy clown character in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they gave me a role, and I played more like a comic relief type character in there, but they have some really interesting plans for this film. So we were going to shoot it like in April, but then,
Then our friend, the pandemic came, yeah.
It's not the safest thing to be in a set right now.
No.
So we're waiting, but I'm looking forward to it, especially Dave's been really great, and Salomon, they've got a lot of things in the works for this. I think they're doing an Indiegogo campaign coming up for this.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
we'll look for we'll look to contribute to that. Yeah, absolutely. So I look forward to seeing you in that too.
I look forward to filming it.
Yeah. Now, before we say goodbye, Bettina, what else is coming up? You're always busy, so what are some of the...
I did an interesting psychological film a while back called Go, Don't Go, and that is actually coming out on Amazon and some other platforms. It's coming out January 12th, so that's really soon. You'll be able to see that film.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It stars Alex Knapp and Olivia Lucardi and Nori Davis and me, although mine's probably the smallest part, and fingers crossed I didn't get cut out, although I don't think I did, being that I did see my name on the poster, but I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
But that got a lot of great attention, I think, at Sundance and lots of film festivals and stuff. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the trailer, and it looks so awesome, and oh my God, that was a really nice set, and my character was just very unusual. But the film is really looks good. It's it has like a 2020 feel to it, like
and it's on Amazon, which is great. We can get to it.
Yeah, it's on Amazon and some other things like iTunes and stuff. I don't know, and it's got a post-apocalyptic. How do you say that word?
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic.
And I can't say it again, so please don't ask me.
Post-apocalyptic feel to it. Yeah, so that's coming out January 12th. I also recently did a series, like an animated children's series. It's been so great. It's called Kindly Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can look that up like on YouTube. There's a whole lot of series. It's like a Mr. Rogers meets an animation, I guess.
Yeah, it's really nice. I've seen a couple episodes.
It's like a sweet educational series for children about how to behave better and how to be nice to people, and I got to play the voice role of a grandmother, and that's like a recurring animated series role. So people can check that out. That's a nice thing. And Playdate is getting some festivals.
Yes.
And I think you can vote for it right now. It's online. You could take a look at that.
All right, everybody, vote for it.
Yeah,
Bettina's humble, but let's do it. I'm sorry.
Like if you go on Netflix, I'm in this movie called Super Dark Times. I have a tiny part, but that movie is really good. It's called Super Dark Times, and man, it gets darker and darker as it goes along. It's great. They did a great job with that script and that.
Excellent. Now, Bettina, you said in Super Dark Times, for example, you said, you have a relatively smaller part. How many days on set would you be for that
I was
movie?
there one day on set.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a small part. That movie's just great. Yeah.
Well, Bettina, I could go on and on. This has been a really interesting and lovely conversation. I'm so glad that I got to meet you. Although over by telephone, someday we'll meet in person, I really hope. You're a very interesting person, and I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. I appreciate it very, very much.
Oh, thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me. It was really nice to talk with you. And you had great questions. So
Thanks, and better answers. So thanks, Bettina. Very nice to talk. Bye for now.
Goodbye.
Classic pop culture. It's classic pop culture. Hosted by Steve, Ludwig, and Ludwig. It's classic pop culture. It's classic pop culture. Classic pop culture.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.